Hello. All right, let me just get my screen started up here. Hold on. Let me swap displays. Can you hear me? All right, let me just make sure that everybody could hear me here by taking a quick peek at the chat. All right, 1 second. Let's see here. Oh, good. Hey, guys. Oh my gosh, look at you guys. I'm so excited. I see. Oh my gosh. Wow, there's a lot of you here. Okay. Angela, Anthony, Paula. Okay, guys. So guess what? We may be stuck inside, but we are about to have a great time. Oh my gosh. I love you guys' enthusiasm. And I actually recognize some of your names. Okay, guys, we're in for a ride. Let's go ahead and jump right into it now that you guys can hear me. So first of all, welcome, welcome, welcome to part 2 of our very famous How to Become the Chief Data Storyteller in Your Org using our analytics guide. So let me tell you guys something. I am like so lit right now because I have so much information to share with you guys, and I think you guys are going to love it, okay? This is going to be jam-packed with information. I know that most of you have the guide, so I'm actually going to show you guys not step by step what's in it, but how to really use it to your benefit, okay? Because if you're like me, I mean, like, how many of you are sitting at home and just upskilling? That's what I'm doing. Like, I am learning, and I'm also super focused on like pushing out content to help the community because I think storytelling is so needed right now. Okay, so let's make sure. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm Mico Yuk. All of you are in the right place. So number one, you're in the right place if you want to learn how to ignite your self-service BI without training your users. Now, the reason why this is important is because after we originally launched the guide, one of the things that I thought people would use it for is self-service. And then I realized that a lot of people did not realize how to benefit. So if you are working to ignite self-service in your organization, if you are for some reason, trying to make it happen and you're struggling and you're creating training videos, they're not working, I'm going to tell you guys how to make this work for you step by step so that you can put self-service on steroids. Okay, you're also in the right place if you want to learn and jumpstart good analytics design best practices with your end users and your team in any BI tool. So even though this analytics design guide, the examples we have in the guide are built in Power BI, the standards and best practices and principles do not change. And so I'm going to talk and show you guys how to use it in order to not just jumpstart your own learning, but also within your team and drive best practices from the beginning. Yay! You're also in the right place if you are looking for a super easy way to brand and standardize all of your analytics and avoid the best tool features battle with your users. Now you see the typo here. I apologize for that, but I don't know about you guys, but let me tell you something, right? If you are trying to get users to use a tool and you are battling with them about the best features, the way I describe that is that you are on a race to the bottom, okay? And let me tell you something, you are going to win. Never engage with users in a battle over the tools, okay? How many of you are dealing with this today? Because just remember, if you are doing it, it's a race to the bottom and you're gonna win. So instead, we're gonna focus you on standardizing so you can get away from the deficiencies of whatever tool you're trying to push, okay? Now, last but not least, you're also in the right place if you're looking for an effective way to drive story-driven analytics in your organization that won't overwhelm you and your users. Talking about Nirvana. Now, I can see that some of you are asking about the part one of this series. Don't worry, when we send you the recap email and recording, we will provide the part one. It is on our site, so we'll give it to you. A matter of fact, let me ask, if you were able to see part one of this series and you benefited from it, just write part one in the chat. Because I know a lot of you took part one and you guys, we had thousands of people go through there. A lot of you actually signed up for our online course and you're doing amazing things. You're in a Facebook group. So if you don't have it, don't worry. We'll send the link. Focus on the content because I have a lot to share in a little bit of time. You'll get the link and you can digest that. That part one of Chief Data Storyteller was a high level overview of how to even start and to become a Chief Data Storyteller, which is something that we started about a year and a half ago. Okay, so now that we validated if you are in the right place, very cool. All right, now I want to give you a reminder that we do only have an hour here, but if you stay toward the end, I have some special gifts for the people who are gonna stick with me. Now, again, we are kind of stuck at home, so unless you're in a different weird time zone, I have expectations that you're gonna be with me throughout the entire session because we have a lot to share, okay? So with that said, let us get right into it. So what I'm going to be sharing with you guys today is some of my most popular lessons for free from my new BI Data Storytelling Accelerator event. Now, if you are in our private data storytelling Facebook group, which by the way, I love you guys, it hit 1,800 today. Isn't that crazy? Or if you have attended, you guys probably know that last year we started to do these live events and they sold out. They are bonkers. So I'm teaching you guys a specific lesson, which is on the ADG guide for free, which comes from our BI Data Storytelling Accelerator event. Now, if you're in an online course, you know that the event itself, the reason we call it an accelerator is because of the fact that instead of you maybe taking the course for 4 weeks, what the accelerator does in 3 days is you basically get the best of that learning and it gets you on your way. So it's just a different style of learning. Okay, so I'll just pause for a minute. Thank you guys. See here, Kathy Ann said she loves the group. Thank you. Yeah, if you're not in a Facebook group, don't worry. You'll get the link for that. It's on fire. Like, I love you guys. I was up there last night late and I think we were consoling each other about how we're going to keep saying while producing all these reports at home. All right, so where's everybody from? Okay, wow. I see Eric in Pittsburgh. Oh my gosh. Oh boy, it's moving so fast. Oh boy. Okay, hold on. Let me let it come in. Zelda in South Africa. I see Anne-Marie in Madrid. I see Greg in Canada, James in Ireland, Robin in Netherlands. Oh my gosh, Megan in the great state of Texas. Philip from Santa Monica. Wow, we have Stoyan from Bulgaria. Hold on, Patricio. Hey, Patricio from Ecuador. I recognize some of these names. Oh my gosh, okay, there's hundreds of you on here. Wow. I have Ekaterina from Russia in Czech Republic and Juan Pablo in Costa Rica and Lisa. Hi, Lisa. Lisa's in London. She's one of our first ever students. Okay, I love you guys. I can't possibly... Wow, we have Smail in Algeria. Oh my goodness. Giuseppe in Amsterdam, Thato in South Africa. Okay, just know I love you guys. Thank you for joining. And I wish I could read all hundreds of responses, but this show must go on. So thank you. I am in Atlanta, sitting at my home desk here, ready to deliver the good stuff. All right. So how many of you attended part one? I think I asked this earlier and I saw the responses. So just another reminder, don't feel bad. If you did not attend part one, you are going to get the link. No biggie. Okay. It was a phenomenal webinar. All right. So for those of you who don't know me, hello there. My name is Mico Yuk, guys. So just a quick little bit about me here, not to bore you. So if you have never heard of me, my keynotes and workshops have been rated #1 at events at Facebook, MIT. I recently started presenting at the Microsoft Power Summit. Lisa, sorry I didn't put Anita Borg on here, the largest women in tech event organization in the world. Past Business Analytics, Open Data Science Conference, Google. Long story short, I've definitely trained thousands of students, and I have a little uniqueness that happened this week where I was formerly an SAP mentor a few years ago and I retired. And this week I became a Microsoft MVP. MVP on a data platform. So pretty cool stuff. If I have any MVPs on here, it's the MVP. So I'm pretty excited. And that is in the Power BI track. But I think the most important part for you to know is that I have trained and taught thousands of students in the last 10 years. Goodness, I'm getting old. And I'm excited to share the rest of this information with you. In addition, I'm also a founder and an author. So these are some of the clients that I've been able to work with through my company here, BI Brains. I've written a book, Data Visualization for Dummies. A number of you have the book, especially if you're in any of my online events or courses. I've also been written up in a number of books on data science because I was a former data scientist. And then I also host the #1 rated analytics podcast on the web by FeedSpot. If you listen to AOF, type AOF in the chat because I know there's a lot of AOF people in here, and thank you. Hopefully you heard my episode this week on no, it was a couple weeks ago on how to design something about analytics design. But anyways, so if you haven't heard of me, there's a few places that you can find stuff that I've done. All right, so while that's all great and dandy, and I'm celebrating this whole Microsoft MVP status, in 2008, things look very different for my life, okay? And if you were in part 1, this will be kind of a similar story, but I do want to, we have hundreds of new people on here, so I want to share this quickly. So back in 2008, I was initially hired as a BI developer by a small company called Pfizer. I'm just joking, guys. That's the building in New York. To be a part of their business objects team. And I basically spent long hours and many trips to Connecticut gathering requirements. Needless to say, I was very frustrated. My users were out of control and they wanted everything on one dashboard. Can anybody relate to this madness? Oh, by the way, thank you guys for all of you who said you love the podcast, right? So I have these users, they kind of want everything. And honestly, I was just going a little bit bonkers because there was no way that I could deliver everything they wanted. Now, I think the worst part for me is that I to basically and go live came and booyah. We had what I call a cricket launch. All we heard were crickets. Nada, zero, zilts, okay? Like nothing. So tired and frustrated, and I'll be honestly, I was exhausted, guys. I basically had to find a resolution. So how many of you have had a cricket launch? If you've had a cricket launch, put cricket in the chat because this crap sucks, all right? Now, I've shown this before on many stages, but essentially 2-6 drop downs from 10, but we were exhausted, tired, and not sure where or what went wrong. And that is where I learned about and became obsessed with user adoption and storytelling, okay? So I see a number of you put chirp, chirp, and crickets in here. Do not feel bad. I mean, this was my reality. I think the worst part was not only did I have no idea what was going on, no one could actually tell me. And when you're young and naive and you don't know, sometimes I feel like it's important. David put cricket launch 2010. You guys are awesome. Oh my gosh. I love you guys. You guys in these comments, you're giving me energy here. I love you guys. Okay. So this little session that I had essentially led me to becoming obsessed with user adoption and storytelling. Now, you would think that, I kind of just popped up on, the solution, but unfortunately, that's not what happened. I basically spent a very long time fumbling with different methods to grow my user adoption. So I did what most of you may have done. So number one is I bought a bunch of dashboard design books and courses from well-known authors. I studied them end to end. So I'm a very avid learner. I'm continuing to learn over, even while we're here. And I bought these books and courses and I tried to apply them, but my dashboards or data viz were getting better, but like my skill sets, if that makes sense to engage users, were not. So then I said, okay, I need a structured approach. I'm going to follow, waterfall. I'm not going to follow waterfall. I'm now going to follow agile. Needless to say, guys, agile method is great. I will describe it the way that one CIO describes it. Agile is the method that never ends, right? So if you have an agile process going on, I'm not knocking it. It's about failing fast and making so you can succeed, but it never ends. And so, we don't want data viz projects that never end. And then we have my favorite method, which I think a lot of you may be engaged in, which is the BP method. So I call this the build and pray method. And so what this method is you build something and you push it out and then you pray someone is going to use it. So if you are using the BP method or have used it before, please type BP into the chat, because I know that there are a lot of people on here that are using this method today. Okay. And don't feel bad. I used it for many years and it kind of didn't work. Right. But that's what it is. I'm laughing because I see in the comments that when I said agile, some of you put iterative and a method that never ends. You guys are hilarious. Right. Okay, so I see in here that you guys are writing BP. Yeah, I see it coming in. Don't worry, guys. Yeah, one guy, Tyler said, "Amen, sister." Yeah, it's not good, right? So build and pray is what we're not going to do anymore because we want to be chief data storytellers. So after that, honestly, I actually tried a lot of other stuff. So I like add in post-its, right, to try to get people off of their laptops. I started asking for the data ahead of time. I tried limiting the number of attendees. I mean, I did a lot more. And don't get me wrong, right? Some of these methods worked, right? Now and again, it wasn't like it was a sure hit, and others didn't. Okay. But nonetheless, in just kind of trying everything in any kind of random order, I was not getting results. And when I say results, yes, I was making some changes, but it wasn't what I wanted. And most importantly, it wasn't consistent. So what I did is I shifted gears and I started developing a repeatable process and framework that began to create, oh my gosh, what is up with my little typo here? Anyways, I began to create predictable results in less and less time and teach my colleagues how to do it. Okay. So nonetheless, that was my focus. So some of you already know this part of the story, but back in 2012, that's when I developed and launched the Be at Ashwood formula methodology. And then in 2018, I actually launched the BI data storytelling framework, which was an offset of the bigger methodology. Okay. Now I don't have time to explain the differences, but I will say that in response to the need for storytelling, we developed that specific framework as an offset of our bigger methodology, which is how to deliver end-to-end BI, because we realized that the world needed storytellers, right? And so the response was insane. When we launched the online course, we have almost 1,000 students that are in there. And not to mention, since then, I've taught even in these last few years, thousands of students across the world and through our live course, okay? So I started using then my data storytelling framework, and things changed really fast. So as a good example, I started to see user adoption that was in single digits, 0 to 7%. Actually, some have gone up. There's a story that I'll share with you guys later on that people have seen up to 70% increase in their user adoption. The best one was delivery time. So if I want to zone this in, delivery time was taken anywhere from 24 weeks. That reduced all the way down from 4 to 6 weeks. Even requirement gathering sessions, those used to take months. Now, in some cases, we can knock them out with a few hours within a week, right? When we're using needs. And I think my favorite one, because I'm not a huge fan of, quote unquote knowledge transfer. I don't know about you guys. I think if you have to build something that people need to transfer knowledge on, you're not doing it correctly. And I'll delve into that a bit later. But user training went from creating up to 10 videos to creating none. So how many of you here do not enjoy creating a bunch of videos? Because I do not like it at all, okay? And don't get me wrong, like I'm not saying anything is wrong with them. I just feel like people are busy these days, and users are busy and they don't have the time to be creating videos when you create something for them. Like it's just not where the world is heading, right? People want analytics like they want their iPhone. They want to open it up, they want to use it, and they want to keep it moving. Yep. Thank you guys. Yep. I love here. What David said should be intuitive. Absolutely. Okay. And you have to understand this, right? So yes, things look great today, but this is coming from someone with no prior storytelling experience. If we're being honest, I bumped into storytelling while I was trying to figure out why my users were losing their minds. And that's the honest to God truth. Okay. During these requirement sessions. I had no formal communication training. So unbeknownst to a lot of you guys, if you're an introvert like me, I'm an introvert. So people see me on stage and they don't understand. I am passionate about these topics and I can teach on it, but I actually run back to my hotel room a lot of times when you guys can't find me at the events because sometimes too many people, it's just too much for me. So any introverts in the house, just type in introvert and say I, all right? So don't feel bad if you don't have this communication training. And then I also had, which is the scariest part, no idea if users would buy into the process or just kick me out, right? So, when you come into like the technical world, guys, and you guys know how this works, this storytelling stuff can be seen sometimes as like fluff, right? Like people feel like, okay, this is nice and fluffy. Oh, you guys are so nice. I see you guys putting up introverts. Oh my gosh. Hi, my introverts. And if you're extrovert, I'm so jealous of you. But if you're introvert, don't feel bad. You're talking to a fellow one here. So we can all be kumbaya together and maybe we can feed off of our extroverts that are on here who enjoy a million people around them and tons of company. Okay, so this is a little bit scary, right? Kind of go into this because we're in this like technical world and we don't know how people are going to take this storytelling stuff, which is kind of fluff. Now, the good is that even though I had those obstacles, as I mentioned, since then, I've had the opportunity to teach over 7,000 students in live workshops, online courses, and we have an online community that has now grown to more than 30,000 amazing professionals like yourself across different mediums. So very cards is as I started to go through this journey with this BI data storytelling framework, some of our students started sharing the success stories at events and on our podcasts. So I actually saw some of you on here. I think one or two of you may be on here. But if you guys listen to our podcast, you can hear the stories from Ankush D'Souza. He's the director BI at Estee Lauder. Fantastic how he took what he learned and he published it into his BI strategy, and he's doing a great job. From Jeremy Cullenbach. Jeremy actually is one of our top students here, and so he's amazing. He did a whole blog post on his transformation. I saw someone with his last name on here, so I don't know if it's a relative, but very cool if you're on here. Might be his brother. And then we have Jonathan Shar, who took our KPI blueprint, globalized it, and literally transformed. He eliminated the question about why, and now he's actually the manager at Middlesex. So very awesome stories. And I started to realize, okay, I started to think, this framework here, it's working, right? But here's the deal, guy. While all this is great, none of this would have been possible, right? If one, I hadn't followed a proven process and framework. Number two, I hadn't engaged my users using some proven storytelling techniques, which I'm going to share with you guys with the ADG, sorry. And number three, if I didn't use templates like the analytics design guide to quickly build trust and consistency. Very, very important stuff. Okay, so it's really important that you guys understand that this stuff doesn't just happen by chance. There is a method to the madness, and I'm going to show you guys this with the ADG. Now, when I started out the goal for Chief Data Storytellers, how many of you were on board when I started this back in September 2018? I had this initial goal, and when you see part one, to create 1,000 Chief Data Storytellers, and in our Facebook group, we crossed that within I think it was within 5 months. So I've now added a zero, and I'm on this mission to create 10,000 Chief Data Storytellers who want to use data to influence actions, deliver true insights, and design amazing analytics that users will love. If you want to be one of those CDSs, just type CDS in the chat. You guys are so awesome. Thank you for the comments. All right. So it's a very ambitious goal, but I feel that we could do it. Okay, so if you're excited to learn how to use our analytics guide, design guide to standardize your analytics and put self-service on steroids, say I. Yay, okay, excited to see everybody saying I on here. You guys are awesome, awesome. This chat is giving me life here. Okay, so first, let us clear up a few misconceptions about this guide. Now, don't worry, if you've open the guide and you haven't looked inside, have no fears. I'm going to give you guys some of the most important stuff, and it's probably going to even make it better when you open it. But I need to clear a few misconceptions first. Picasso-like design skills or be a quote-unquote creative to design amazing story-driven analytics. Guys, I have to be honest with you. That is so far from the truth, okay? The reality is you don't need to be a designer. What you do need is to be passionate and able to follow a proven framework. The reality is, design can be learned by anyone, and most people are beginners anyway. Now, I'll confess to you, I've always had a knack for design, but if you want me to be honest, this is kind of embarrassing. In my design course, I was in my design class in high school. I was the least talented. And I say that because it's true. Like, you had kids in there who could like watch an image and just like draw it from scratch. I was not one of those people, okay? Like, it took me forever to draw things. Yes, they came out decent, but I just didn't have that talent. So you do not need to be a Picasso, okay? I think the second myth, oops, sorry about that. I think the second myth that I see often is you need to have a lot of boring training sessions to get users to adopt your BI tool for self-service. I'm going to again be the first to tell you, you do not need to have a lot of boring training sessions in order to get users to adopt your tool for self-service. I said this before, but it's really important. The reality is that one, you don't need more training. Two, you don't need more videos. What you do need is consistency and something that your users can follow. And I think the third myth that I see here is that people tell me, well, Mico, I can't standardize my analytics because there are too many reports and users will do their own thing anyway. Guys, that is so far from the truth. I don't care. Here's the deal. Number one, your users are clueless when it comes to design. Trust me on this one. Not that, and when I say clueless, meaning they don't even know where to start, okay? Second of all, your users would love some guidance. And if you don't believe that, I'm gonna prove it to you. Third of all, your users hate those standalone reports as much as you do. Trust me when I tell you that. Like, we have tested this, and when you go to them, you see them roll their eyes and they go, oh yeah, all those reports that I requested. They themselves are not very happy with those reports, okay? All right, so I want to make sure that we are on the same page now. So let's get started. And when I talked about Jeremy on here, and I wanted to show this, so to kind of come over those myths, I think this is like really important. So Jeremy used some of the methods that we have. He actually downloaded the ADG guide, and then he went and purchased our online course, and he ended up delivering 14 dashboards in 2 months and stated, which I thought was great, it was his best work, okay? Now keep in mind that Jeremy, who is on the webinar, I think I saw him on here, he has no design experience, and he's also a techie, all right? And so, he's one of the people that first jumped on board when we put this out there. And I just think I love what he said here, which he said that, BIDS, and we'll talk a little bit later about that, will change everything from the first question you ask, how you maintain and scope throughout the process, while ensuring you get successful sign off. And I like here where he says, you maintain focus because we give you a multitude of cheat sheets and guides. Hint, hint, the analytics guide. Okay, guys? So Jeremy, if you're on here, thank you. I thought I would share this, and I think you guys will enjoy this. So now we're on the same page, guys. What I want to do is I want to get started on giving you guys these techniques. Okay. So here is step number 1, okay? And this is assuming you guys all have the ADG, all right? If you haven't popped it open, it's fine, but you do need to have the download. Don't open it yet. Step 1 is Chief Data Storytellers follow best practices. I don't even know how to emphasize how important this is, guys. If you guys do not follow best practices, please do not expect anybody else to follow. And by the way, guys, if you're asking questions and I'm not addressing them, I do have a Q&A that's going to start in the next 15 minutes. I will address your questions, okay? So I see some questions in here. I will get back to them, so just bear with me. All right, so the step number 1 is CDSs follow best practices. So the first thing that you want to do with this guide, guys, the first step is you want to basically pop it open, and you want to use it to update an existing data visualization. So in order to do that, what you want to do is you want to open an existing data visualization that you have, follow the guide step by step, and this is important. So please write this down here. For those saying what download, that's the analytics design guide that you guys got when you registered. It's like a 50-page guide, very detailed, okay? And so this is the table of contents in the guide. The one game changer here that I want to emphasize is follow these steps. Please do me a favor. Do not skip from fonts over to smart tables. We spent a lot of time laying this out to make sure that you follow a very step-by-step process, okay? So pop open a data viz, follow the steps, and then once you transform your visualization, you want to get feedback. Now, here's the deal with this. So the cool thing about once you get feedback is as you're doing this, right? And you're talking to users, you'll notice that you are following our 4-part story framework. So if you pop open Analytics Design Guide and you follow it step by step, you'll see the 4-part story framework where it includes a goal, it includes the KPIs, the trends, and the actions. And you want, as I said, design in the exact steps provided, and then you want to repeat this on another data visualization, okay? So I want to make this really simple. The first step is honestly, if I were to rewrite it, you want to make sure that you eat your own dog food. For those of you asking how to get the guide, don't worry. You got it as a download when you registered. If you don't have it, we're going to send it out again right after this. It's called the Analytics Design Guide, and that's what we're focused on using. I don't want to pop it out on here because it's a huge guide. I'm just focused on telling you guys how to use it for your own benefit. All right. So how many of you are with me on method 1? You got to eat your own dog food first. You need to actually apply the guide and use it and get that done. And because you guys are at home, a lot of you, I recommend you get that done right now. Okay? All right. So that's step number 1. And that's basically just making sure you understand and can follow the best practices. Step number 2 with the Analytics Design Guide is you want to make sure that you set the visualization standard in your org, okay? If you are a chief data storyteller, you set the standards. You don't let other people do that. Now, what's the best way to do it? So after you go ahead and you create this data visualization, right? And you take your time so you now know better, you now want to actually open the guide and personalize it. And to do that, you want to replace each section of the guide with your company colors and fonts. Okay, guys? Very important. You then want to take the screenshots from your existing data visualization and you want to implant them inside the guide. So you guys, we're giving you an editable format. This exercise, it's PowerPoint, may take you a few hours, have a little bit of patience. But if you have the data viz ready to go, you've went and you've collected and requested the colors and fonts from the marketing department, this should not be too hard, okay? So you want to do this personalization. Then the last step, which is really important, is after you personalize the guide, you want to convert it to a PDF and you want to share it with feedback. Okay, so I see someone here ask a good question. I said I wouldn't address it, but I will, which is, what if my manager does not agree with my standards? I think if they don't agree, and this is not to be rude, then say, okay, since you don't agree with my standards, then can you please provide one? Right? I always like when people say, oh, I don't agree with it. Fantastic. Then do me a favor and you provide a standard, because what we're doing right now is every man is for his own. And that's definitely not a method. That is called chaos and it's very messy. Okay. All right. So once you've done that and you ask for feedback, you want to make sure that as you ask for feedback, there's a few things that you're trying to accomplish here, right? When you go to the users and you create the PDF, you want to use that time to engage them and educate them, right? There's an opportunity here when users typically get pretty excited when they get the guide, all right? They like go, oh, wow. They think you're like some BI god or something, right? They're like, oh my God, this is more than I've ever gotten in my life. Okay, fantastic. So take that one moment and say, by the way, this guide is not just to be, for pretty stuff, right? To make yourself look great. If you look in here, it actually has these storytelling parts and elements that you're going to benefit from. Okay, so use that time to educate them. Very important. You also want to ask your users at that time, while they're excited, hey, talking about milking a situation, are you willing to share this with their team? Right? So this is a very good time to say, listen, if you like the guide, are you willing to share it? Right? Because here's the thing, guys. You don't want to be the one that's continually having to share this stuff, okay? If you are your only cheerleader, you're going to fail. That's very difficult. So you want to make sure that you're asking your users if they're willing to share it with their team. You also want to use it to start to describe, as I said, how story-driven analytics should look. Now, the funny thing about this, guys, is if you don't have the guide, let me give you a bit of a guru tip here that is not in my deck. There is a section here if I go back, right? I have limited time, so I'm going to put this here. We added in a section called Smart Tables, okay? And Smart Tables is a freaking game changer. As a matter of fact, if we have enough time toward the end, I'm gonna bring it up. What Smart Tables are, if you haven't popped open the guide, don't worry, just, you know, you don't have to do it at the moment because you'll get the recording, is they essentially are a way to take these reporting tables and add fields to them to make them very smart, all right? So what do I mean by that? Well, it's adding fields, for instance, like the rank, right? Where was someone ranked? Where were they ranked last week? And the reason why we added smart tables is because if you add smart tables into your visuals, you're essentially eliminating a need for users to create frivolous pivot tables in order to do their job. Did everybody get that? So I don't have time to emphasize in detail on the smart tables, but we added that in here, and that's really one of the big game changers of the update. For those of you who had part 1, you want to make sure that you delve in and go down to part 5, because that's one of the big added benefits of the update for the AGG guide. Now, the other last part here that I want to add is step 3, right? So far I've covered the fact that you set the standard, you need to personalize. I think the third thing that Chief Data Storytellers do that an analytics guide can really help you with is really igniting self-service, okay, in a way that your users love. Now, before I give you guys this little guru tip coming up here, I have to admit to you, I have no idea why people don't do this. It's been interesting to me. It's been a standard that we do, but I don't know why. So this, if you don't take away anything, this is probably going to be the most valuable. Now that you have this guide, guys, your biggest quick win from this guide, besides the guide, is to actually take it and create templates. You will not believe how you can put self-service on steroids by creating templates and giving it to the users. And I'm not talking about having to create them from scratch, guys. I mean, you guys all know who your super users are. There's typically 5 or 6 of them, guys. Ask them for what they're using, apply the guide, templatize it, and you can do this in these tools. Power BI, you could do it. Tableau, you can do it. I believe you can do it in Click. And what you want to do is you want to publish this stuff out there, okay? This is not rocket science. Now, this here, even though it seems very simple, this is probably my #1 tip on how to ignite your self-service, okay? And you can embed this into your strategy, because what you tend to find is that if you replace training with templates, I don't know about you, training takes a lot of time. Templates will take a lot of time, but their viral nature and the gratitude from the business because they could do it for themselves and not start from scratch will be major. So let me stop and ask a question here. How many of you guys today are creating templates and giving it to your users? Because I see this being often overlooked. I'm going to see here how many hands go up. How many of you guys are doing this today? I'm just reading in the questions here. Oh, thank you, Ben. Ben said, amazing concept. Power BI terminology would be a custom visual as a tooltip, if I'm understanding right. That's correct. And by the way, I see and hear people asking for the guide. Don't worry, you will. Okay, so I see here, I see a mixture here, but I want to be clear, guys, for those who are answering. I'm not talking about these templates that we get in free, right? So I'm not talking about going out to Power BI site and downloading templates. I'm talking about structured templates that are consistent, that are based on the guide, so that and what you should do is you should package this up. So you have the guide and the templates, put it onto a portal where the users can get them and let them start working. And that's what you should be publicizing. Stop spending your energy publicizing training. Okay, very, very important. Use templates and use the guide instead. Okay, so I just want to recap here before we go forward. Yes, recording will be available. So I want to recap before we go forward. So step 1 that I gave you guys is follow your best practices, right? Which is to make sure that you guys go in, you open an existing viz, you modify it with the guide, make sure you go step by step in the order we gave you, and then you start to share that to get feedback. Step 2 is is that you want to make sure that you are setting the standards. And now that you have that asset, you want to take it, plug it into the guide, right? Well, you want to grab the colors and fonts from your marketing department, plug it into the guide, update it, make it look like your own. Okay, so now you have this nice tick document that you could share with your team and with your users and say, this is how our analytics should look within the company, is what you're targeting. And then step number 3 is this guru tip, which is to ignite self-service. Package the guide now with about 5. I say 5 because you guys are beginners, a lot of you. If you can package it with 10, 15, if you have that capacity in your team, I would recommend taking, pulling from your super users, following the guide, redesigning those templates for them, getting their approval, packaging it up, and then send it out to the organization as like a care package and saying, hey guys, every time that you download Power BI, every time you download, whatever it is, you have the ability to start with these guidelines and these templates. I can guarantee you, and we've seen it happen in multiple organizations, your users will love you. So how many of you guys are going to start to do all of these 3 things when you get off of this webinar? Yay. Okay. Awesome. 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 All right. Okay, so with that said, now I want to move on here. So I've given you guys a few tips. Like I said, I didn't open up the ADG guide. You guys do have the download. What I do want to do, however, is I know that a lot of you guys are at home and you guys are looking to upskill. So what I want to do for those of you guys who want more and to go further, thank you guys for that. Oh, good. Yay, I see a lot of you saying I need to, I'll do it. Okay, good. Well, we did the bulk of the work, so you guys should be able to push it through from there. All right, so what I want to do is obviously we're running out of time here. And what I want to do is, I know there's a number of you that want to go a bit further. Some of you are familiar with our techniques, but I'll be honest with you guys, the ADD guide is only a small part of what we actually teach, okay? So what I want to introduce to you guys is we are launching our new BI Data Storytelling Accelerator online event. Now, this is something you have to understand that we've never, ever done before. And when I say that, the whole thing is virtual and it's going to be over a 2-day period. Now, what is the event? So the BI Data Storytelling 2-day online event is for data professionals and enthusiasts who want to fast track their learning, how to craft compelling data stories, properly engage their users, and deliver insights, not to mention become the chief data storyteller in their org. Now, I'm going to be honest with you guys. If you weren't able to come to one of our live workshops that we launched last year that sold out because of travel or cost, when you guys see what we have here and the cost of this is going to blow your mind. So we kind of did, because of the pandemic, we did this at a point where we're just trying to cover our overhead and really get people upskilled, okay? So let me go over quickly what you'll learn. And then for those of you who stay on with me, there's actually a fast action bonus. And believe it or not, you can attend the accelerator at the cost of our online. You want to hang in there for 2 minutes. All right, so what are you going to learn in this event? So the first thing you're going to learn, guys, is how to craft a 4-part story. Now, a lot of you who follow me for many years know I'm super passionate about how to do this. But the most important outcome, I think, is learning how to collect the right metrics, create the visual documentation, then for users to showcase. The second thing you're going to learn is how to use our visual storyboard. How many of you have our storyboard? Because I know we have a lot of online students on here. How many of you have our storyboard? We usually give it to our students. And you're going to learn how to use it to keep your users engaged and get rid of those long Word documents. The best part is you're actually going to learn how to use it remotely. So you won't even need to be in person to get this done. We're going to do it together. The second thing you're going to learn on the second day is actually then how to take your visual storyboard parts and turn it into a visualization. So this has been apparently rated super high in terms of how to, yay, I see you guys saying you have the storyboard. That's good. Okay, in terms of how to turn your visual storyboard into a wireframe. And in doing that, we'll show you how to choose charts and add context to our visualizations. Now, I actually see on here that we have some guys from a live workshop. So I don't know if all the chat is shared. There's hundreds of you on here. But I see guys here saying, I have the storyboard, thanks. Still need to finish the class. Awesome. I usually use it. Yay. Patricio says he use it. There's other people saying here they don't have it. Don't worry. I'm going to show you how to get that. Okay. Now, on top of that, at our 2-day live event that is all online, you're going to get a ton of templates, quiz, step-by-step exercises so that you will never feel lost, okay? All right, so if this sounds too good to be true, you're probably asking yourself, how do I know this will work? And so I want to present, besides the fact that this actually changed my life, a lot of people know that, right? I'm geeked out on this storytelling stuff. One of my favorite stories does come from Ryan Deeds. And so Ryan Deeds said this, and we have this on our website as well, on a use case, on a podcast. He's an amazing leader. You know, he said in 17 years of training, there hasn't been anything more impactful than BI Brains, Data Storytelling Mastery Workshop. I don't think I'd have the job I have today had I not attended the session. They've helped me make a fundamental shift in the way I present analytics. It's a night and day transformation, and what he builds today is much more effective. Okay, so let me jump right in here for those people who are ready to get started. I will tell you that today, for those people who enroll, like I said, we've dropped this down into Beyond Cheap. I think my team thought I was losing my bunkers here, but you know, we are going through a lot. So I wanted to just get people online and let's have some fun. You're going to get over $1,000 in bonuses and savings. So bonus number one is, if you can't attend the full event, it's going to be pretty intense. You get all the replays, checklists, storyboards, templates, everything, right? So you don't need to worry about that. Bonus number two is that you get to do live Q&As with me and my team in real time. So apparently online, and we've done this before, there's something called breakout rooms. And so for those people who want to attend the live event, we're going to use those breakout rooms. Now, here is the deal, guys. So with regards to the actual event that we have, if you guys, I'm going to give you guys a link. It should be up on an offer. You guys can actually go to the webpage. We have broken this down very simple, and I hope my online students don't choke me here. But in order to attend the live event, instead of paying our regular $14.97, because of the current situation, and we really want to be focused on getting people upskill, we have made the standard registration just $4.97, and you still get the bonuses. Now, for those people who want to do a VIP, you guys know we always do VIPs. Besides everything else, there are a few more bonuses that you are going to get. So we are still going to ship you a book. If you're outside the US, you'll get an ebook. If not, as soon as the post office reopens, you will get a physical book. In addition, we will also ship you, which is a $145 value, one of our storyboards to use. But as I said, we are going to do it together live at this event, okay, for those people who want more. So the value of the course and bonuses is already about $1,000. And as I said to you, for those people who register as a standard, right, they only will pay $4.97. And if you're a VIP and you want to get the book and you want to get the storyboard and a few other bonuses, which is some extra time with me, then you will be able to get that stuff for $7.97. Now, keep in mind, again, this is typically the cost of our online course, guys. So I just want to warn you guys that this pricing, I don't know if we'll have it again, but as I said, my intent was more to make sure we can cover our overhead costs and also get you guys registered. Okay, so there should be a link in there as to how you guys can sign up and get registered for this. But I do want to share one more thing. So for those people who decide to register today, let me put it up here. I am offering a fast action bonus. And so what it is today is, if you decide to register, we are going to host a one-on-one private group Q&A with me. And so this is a much smaller group because I want it to be more one-on-one where we can open up and look at stuff. So if you're one of the first 15 people to get registered, then we are going to host a private Q&A after the live event. And we're going to go through some of the stuff that you have there and that you have online. Okay, so what I want to do is I want to open up for the next few minutes for ask a few questions, answer a few questions here and see what people are asking. Okay, so the first question I have here is what if I already have the online course? That's not a problem at all. So if you already have the online course, the live event is typically $14.97. It's $4.97. I would recommend that you sign up for the live event. We actually have a lot of students who have the online course and attend our live events. Some of them are actually on the chat and in here as well. And they'll tell you, if you look on our website, they actually tell you that they love both and that they benefited from both of the events very greatly. So if you have the online course, then you can join on here. Oh, I also forgot to mention, if you are VIP, you also get access to our online course. Sorry about that. Okay, will you put your course on Coursera.org? As of right now, no. So we host our courses privately because we tend to want to have a bit more control. We used to have our courses years ago on another platform and we took it off because we didn't have as much control as to what we could do with it and what type of updates. So we won't put it on Coursera, but thank you for that recommendation. Okay, let me see here. If you have any questions, feel free to put it in the chat on here. I believe that the link is there. Let me see. How do we download the design guide? As I said to you guys earlier, the design guide will be re-emailed to you, but you should have gotten an email once you actually registered. Okay, where is the link? So there should be a link in your chat for it. If not, I can go ahead and post a link on there, but you guys should have a link in your chat to get registered for the event. Like I said, there is a fast action bonus for people who want to go ahead and get registered. The first 15 people, I think I see some registrations already. So if you guys want to do that private one-on-one, yeah, I see registrations coming in again. So let me just run through this again quickly. If you have any other questions, let me know on here. And the event itself, I'm sorry for not stating, is from May the 12th to 13th. So I'm actually going to do something quickly. I'm going to come out of PowerPoint and I'm actually going to show you guys the event here. Just give me 1 second on here because I think it'll help a lot. 1 second here. Let me get my little screens together, find my Outlook. All right, so you guys can post questions here. There were some questions that came in earlier as well, but I just wanted to point out some stuff that I personally thought was important. So just give me a minute here. You guys could see I have my Google stuff on here. Feel free to put in your questions, as I said. Give me a second here. I'm pretty excited about this because we didn't even know if we could do this, but we have figured it out. So I'm pretty excited on here. All right. So let me go ahead and pull up the page. Thank you for you guys who registered. So, there's a lot of people registering. Okay. So again, the fast action bonus may run out before I get off on here. So if you are interested, I advise you get registered. So this is the page that you want to go to on here. Oops, sorry. This is not the page you want to go to. I'm sorry. Give me 1 second. Leading you off into the wrong page here. Hold on. Sorry about that. Why can't I find my own online event? All right, maybe I'll just go through my website. Sorry. As I'm streaming, my computer moves a little bit slower here, so just bear with me. Let me Meanwhile, can you guys go ahead and put your questions in? I'll go ahead and address them. All right. So I'm just going to go into our website here. Give me 1 second and I will see why, for some reason, I can't seem to find it. 1 second here. This is so weird. If you guys have questions, please put them in. I see people are still registering, which is awesome. I'm also going to go back here while I'm looking for this, and I'm going to address some of the questions that were asked earlier on here. So give me a second here. I think my team will be able to queue that up. All right, so let me go ahead and pull this up here. So if you guys are interested, there's a couple things that I did want to point out here. Give me a second, hold on. All right, I have the link here. Sorry about that. Doing this stuff in real time here. Okay, so while we're here, let me see. Thank you, Sita. Sita provided me my own link. Okay, so if you're on here, I put some context as to what to expect on here, guys. So what we're using is we are using an online platform called Neurom. I'm pretty excited because we're gonna have these private breakout rooms. Thank you guys so much for giving me the link. I'm so embarrassed about here. Sorry, because we're using online. I just had a lot of bandwidth, so I shut down everything. But I think what's important here is that you guys check out the schedule that we have. So typically we have our 3-day event. What we're doing is our 2-day event instead. And so what we're gonna do here is very simple. We're gonna open up with some lecture. I will be lecturing you guys. Hopefully you guys get on camera with me so we can have some fun. I see people are signing up. Awesome. And then we are going to do an exercise with me as an instructor. You'll do an exercise with Anna the second day. And then guess what? After we're done with the exercise, then we are going to have a real lunch break. You guys will go off to lunch or network. We're then going to do group challenges in our teams. And then we're going to commence for the day. Now, for those of you who have registered for VIP, because I saw a number of VIPs that came in, after this event is done, we're going to let you guys take about a week or so, and then we're going to have a private Q&A just for the VIPs, okay? So I put this on here because I wanted you guys to basically see the options. One thing I did not mention, however, is that if you have a group of people who are interested in attending, we do offer a group discount if you have a team of 3 or more people, and you can actually register directly on the site. If you have more than 3, you can contact us, or if you need a PO, we do offer group discounts. I will say this again because it's really important. This is the same price as our online course. And so this is the cheapest that we could do this to make sure that we cover our overhead for the platform. My real goal here is to make sure that we have a good time, and we are going to rock these 2 days. So we're asking people to really have a clear mind, which is why we put the event out for it in the middle of May, because we think it'll be a good time. Now, important as well, because I want to make sure there's quality. You guys know, a lot of you know how my style. I'm limiting this to 50 seats. So even though it is online, I don't just want people sitting up listening to us in oblivion. I really want people who are willing to attend and participate. So I've really cut this down where there's only going to be 50 seats available. Okay, so if you want to get registered, I believe we might sell out the event. We're going to send out a follow-up email. I hope that you do. Okay, so with that said, let me get back here to my questions. I see you guys here are saying thank you. Thank you guys. You are amazing as well. Is there any other questions from me? I think I've kind of laid out here what you guys will get, VIP event. Any questions that you guys have about the ADG guide? You guys are all going to get the download. Any questions about the smart tables, feel free to shoot the questions up. And my team, if there's any questions that I didn't answer, could you make sure that you pull them up so that I can respond to them, please? Let me see here, guys. I saw a good question here. So Jill is asking if I'm a VIP, do we get this already? So Jill, I just want to make sure when you say this, do you mean, do you get access to the online event? You just need to specify that for me. Let me see here. I see a number of questions here. Hold on. Are your users other data viz people? So Charis, if you're on still, you asked this question earlier. When I say users, I mean anyone who's consuming your analytics. It could even be your team. I specifically didn't want to say data viz people or users because analytics is becoming so expanded and mainstream that I look at it as consumers of anything that you are creating or the people that you have to communicate to. Okay, therefore, ADG guide is for transforming existing dashboard and viz using the process. Yeah, it is. So Paul asked this question earlier. The ADG guide is for that, but I want to say it's a bit more than that, right? It's not just for data visualization transformation. If you use it strategically to document, it's a way to actually open a door of communication with your users. Okay, Ben is asking, okay, Jason said, do you get certified for attend the online course? Jason, you do get a certificate. It should have happened at the end of the online course. If you didn't get it, we'll be happy to give it to you. You do get a certificate when you finish this online workshop as well. We do give you a customized certificate, yes. All right. What time zone will the event be conducted in? It's going to be in Eastern time zone. But as I said, you guys will get all the recordings for free. Jill, I saw your question here. Our VIPs are going to get the recordings, not free access to the event, but they will get the recordings for free. Okay. VIP is $797. I saw someone asking in what price was VIP. I hopefully have it showing up on my screen here so you guys could see it. Guys, I have to tell you something from the heart. I'm so excited. Like if we are gonna have a good time. Like the fact that I get to sit at home and I don't have to get dressed and come out, guys, I'm gonna overload you guys honestly with so much fun and good stuff. From I particularly was even thinking about doing a day 3, but we decided let's do a quick and dirty. But just remember that when you guys join us, you're joining a family, right? So one of the things you get when you register is we actually have a private Slack group where we manage and work with our students. You guys will be able to join that. Okay, so just take a deep breath. We're gonna have a really, really good time. Okay, if I'm registering from a different time zone, will it be conducted? Yes, they will, Sita, and you can join on and off as you like. You'll have your access and login, but again, you're going to get the recordings, okay? And you'll have our Slack group to ask questions. So if you're in a different time zone, we set it up so that you'll have some continuity there. Okay, let me see here. Other questions. Are smart tables a built-in function from your Viz tool, or is it something that is more manufactured by using what's available in your Viz tool? Meg, you can build smart tables in any tool. It's all manufactured. Okay, Sam said, I tried to register to VIP, but the price mentioned on payment is $497. Sam, actually VIP is $797 because you get the free Q&A with me, and actually VIPs get other stuff. I'll be honest with you, that's not mentioned here, but it's $797. The basic standard registration is $497. Two different prices. All right, going through my questions here. Thank you guys so much. For those of you who have to hop off is great. I'm going to stick on here and answer a few more questions from anyone who has them. I see we have still a couple hundred people on here. So guys, ask away. I'm here. Let's be honest. I honestly don't have anywhere to go right now. And I'm so excited to have you guys on here. I really hope this webinar helped. And for those of you, I see people registering like crazy. I'm going to check. I think we may have filled the 15 gap already. Hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, I think we have 5 more seats for the fast action bonus, guys. For those of you who want to get registered, I hope I'm correct because this may not be coming in real time. All right. Any other questions here? Shoot. It's the 4th option, Ben. If you do VIP, the 4th option is VIP. You'll see it there. It should say 1 VIP. Oh yeah, and I forgot to mention we're capping VIP to 10 seats because you guys we're gonna sit down for a few hours and really delve in. So I'm actually planning to get on camera with you guys and look at what you're doing. So I'm capping that down to 10 because I do want to do that a bit more individually. And I think for VIP, we have quite a few that registered. We have a few seats left. I think half the VIPs are gone already. Okay, Paula, you're welcome. Any other questions, guys, about the guide, about the event? Any other questions? Let's do it. You're welcome. All right. And I'm going to hang around here for the next 10 to 15 minutes to see if there's more questions. I see you guys getting registered, but I'm going to hang around here. You guys can ask me anything, whether or not is about the event. Okay, people are asking if we have a payment plan. So because the event is in a month, we didn't set up a payment plan. But if you need one, send an email to academy@BIBrains and we will give it. Oh, I did forget to mention one thing. How could I forget that? Thank God we have 150 people on here. If you have lost your job because of this situation, we do have a few slots that are left for those people. Could you shoot us an email? It's not many slots, and we will give you a complimentary access if you've lost your job. I'm sorry I did not mention that. We only have a few slots on there. So if you did lose your job, we keep everything confidential, so don't worry. Shoot an email over to academy@BIBrains, and it's first come, first serve, and we'll give you a complimentary access. I'm sorry about not mentioning that earlier. You're welcome, Amira. You're welcome. Lots of thank yous here. Okay, guys, what other questions you have? Let me go in the queue. Which of the reputable authors Zoran is asking is the most close to your visualization standards? I'll be honest with you. I've been told by quite a few people that what we teach is fairly unique, including our customers. I don't reuse other people's stuff. Everything I've taught, I've learned off of the ground and implemented. I haven't written a book about it. I've been offered 7 offers to do it. It's just because I haven't gotten the time. So I don't think it's very close to any of them. What we are going to learn from us is all real world stuff that was implemented. I come from the school of hard knocks. And I think that's why our students are so successful. And again, I love what all those authors teach. I've been doing this for over 10 years. Okay, no live responses needed. ADG feedback. Blake said layouts desktop on slide 7 to 10 do not list different values for pixels, ratios, and inches. They're all the same. Thought you might want to know in case. Yeah, Blake, I know that, but the reason we do it is because when we're sometimes doing our wireframes, we have to set the pixelization in the tool for it. That's why we actually did it. It was more of that than anything else, but thank you for that feedback. Our team actually does set it up. Okay. What else here? Placement of filter controls in the design guide. Yeah, we're not a big fan of filters, but if you have to place them, they usually go in the header or right below it. Charles, I hope that answered your question. Good question. All right. What else do we have here? What would you say when your manager says, this is Ikaron, the users are not mature enough to use self-service? Will the use of templates help with these? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's why we made the templates dummy proof, right? We actually believe that if you provide these templates, people are going to be able to use this stuff without a lot of help. That is correct. And by the way, guys, I forgot to mention, if you guys decide to register in a group, the fast action bonus will be available until it runs out. I would say typically in our experience, it'll be around for about 48 hours before it sells out. I'm looking here and I think we only have, I actually can't count. I don't know if we have any actually fast action bonuses left, to be frank. I think we might have capped out here. Okay, so I don't have time to sit on count. We have people registering, which is awesome. We do have seats left, however, so I recommend you do get registered because after we finish with this, we're going to launch it publicly. So this is an opportunity for those who attended. Ichiran, what I will say is users are not immature. They just don't have the right tools. Thank you, Charles. Thank you for attending. Appreciate you. All right. Let me see on here. Yeah, I did put in some Q&As. Oh, a couple other things I could share as well. Someone's asking if I have to download software. Nope. You don't have to download anything to your desktop if you have a government computer. I did put in the Q&As here for you guys. Everything's going to be provided ahead of time. All I need you guys to do is show up, make sure you're well hydrated, and that you are ready to go. No software needed on your desktop. We wanted to avoid all of those challenges. All right. Okay, guys, any other questions here? You're welcome, Jeremy. Thank you. You're the best as well. And Jeremy, as I said, you guys are going to get the recordings for the event. If you don't attend the live event, you guys will get the recordings. Bye, Jeremy. Thank you, Lisa. Awesome. All right. Anything else, guys? I want to say I have somewhere to go, but I don't want to lie, right? There's still like over 100 of you on here. Okay, Greg is asking, will we be holding AOF interviews on the pandemic? Keen to connect with data community working on this. Sorry, join webcast late if it was mentioned. Greg, that's a really good question. So we have an interview that's coming up. The next set of interviews, when you say on the pandemic, do you mean are we going to be covering data stuff directly on it? We have an interview coming up where we're teaching people how to get jobs on LinkedIn. We have Lillian digging into some techniques. So we're addressing different elements on the podcast coming up that we feel will help people. If you want something specific, you can always email us so you can pump it in here. What are you looking for? Okay, Bruno said, did I misunderstand something or can we download the guide? Yeah, Bruno, it should be in your email. If you haven't received it, you're going to get it in the recording email again. But when you registered, you automatically got an email with the actual link. All right. Other questions on here? Bye, Raphael. Thank you. Thanks, Zelda. Thanks, Hasnain. Thank you, Idris. All right. Okay, guys. So as I said, I'm going to get ready to... Thank you, Julie. You're awesome. Yes. Use the guide. It's free. Please use it and run with it. So Greg, you said for those working in crisis. So in our Facebook group right now, we actually are rallying around a number of people who are working in the fields. If you're in our Facebook group, you'll see it in there. Like I said, if there's something specific that you're looking for, because maybe I'm misunderstanding, just let me know. And we'd be happy to see if we could accommodate. We're just doing our best. As I said, we're trying to just figure out what skill sets. A lot of people doing a lot of stuff. We're trying to focus on helping people to navigate, especially people who may be losing their jobs. Gracias, Juan Pablo. Thank you, guys. So maybe send us an email, Greg, and then we can maybe go back and forth to see in our agenda if there's something that we could add that could help a little bit more. All right. Okay, guys, I'm going to get ready to wrap this up. Is there anything else that you guys have that are pertinent questions? I see people still registering. Super cool. Okay, so we are 10 minutes out. As I said, as long as the fast action is available, it'll be on the site. We are going to release this publicly. If you're interested in joining, please get that done now. You guys are going to have an awesome time. I am capping it down to 50, and I haven't checked as yet, but I think that we are maybe 30% full just from this webinar. So we suspect that we'll probably end up selling out the event. So you guys are awesome. Mwah. Okay. All right, Greg, I see you. Okay, good. Yeah, just ping me in the Facebook group, Greg. I'll see what you guys want. Huh. I see a comment here I do want to address before we go with Julie. So I'm not skilled to get a job as a BI developer. I want to be a BI business analyst, but I do see many jobs like that. Any recommendation from what you've seen? So you're saying, yeah. So Julie, there's a ton of analyst jobs, right? I think what you need to look at, since you don't want, I don't understand if you don't want to do development or you don't know how to, but there are a ton of analyst jobs online. If you look up business analysts or BI analysts that don't necessarily involve development, just FYI. There's a lot of companies that like to combine it, but there are jobs that don't involve it. Yay, Patricio. Thanks a lot, Mico. I took your certification last year and I love it. I use it all the time in my, what did you put it here? Oops, the comment disappeared. There's so many comments coming in. Jeez Louise. Oh, I use it all the time in my consulting BI service in Ecuador. Best regards in your vision to 10K data storytellers. Muchas gracias, Patricio, and I'm glad to see that works. All right, Greg, thank you. All right. So we still have almost 100 people on here. Any other questions? You're welcome, Julie. And Julie, there's a podcast coming out. Look for it, How to Land an Incredible Data Job with Lillian Pearson. You are going to love that one. She's talking about data jobs, but if you use the techniques that she's going to give, it is probably going to be one of our top podcasts for this year. Pretty super duper. All right. Any other questions, guys? Like I said, like you, I'm at home. So if you have questions, shoot. And I'd be more than happy to help. Any other questions? Let me check the Q&A from my team. Did I answer everybody's questions here? All right. Let me just check here. All right. Let me see here. Any other responses? All right. Okay, so I think I'm going to get ready to wrap up here. As I said, I see people still registering, which is pretty awesome. I cannot wait to be with you guys in another 4 weeks. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you have an awesome day. You guys will get the recording, so check out your emails, and that recording will involve the download. Okay, you guys absolutely rock. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Mwah. You guys are amazing. This gave me so much energy. I'm actually going to see if I can download the comments and keep them because I needed them. We're all stuck inside. All right, thank you guys so much. You rock. Thank you. Bye, guys.